evening, everybody. Welcome to the last Friday of 2024. Hard to believe, but we finally made it. Welcome. This is very exciting. I love doing these end of year shows. It's a good time for reflection. It's a good time to look forward to the new year and possibilities. And I'm ready to do that tonight. I'm ready to look back a little bit and then look forward a little bit and then look straight ahead, which for me is at the drawing board. I know straight ahead you would think it'd be this way, but straight ahead for me is here. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. This is great. I hope there are people that join me live tonight. I would love to engage with you one-on-one. Consider tonight an Ask Me Anything if you like. Although anything would be great if it related to this right here, animation Q&A. So if you're here and you want to get your questions answered, tonight's the night to do it. If you're watching this later, hello to you as well, and I hope that you put your questions in the chat, and I'll go back and answer it when I see it. So let's see what's been going on this week. Well, I believe I had started a little bit working on, I got a thumbs up already from someone. Wayne Carnegie over on Facebook. Hey, Wayne, appreciate you. So I think last week I was working on, I just started scene 30. And this week I've been continuing scene 30. I'm roughly 30 drawings into the scene. And interestingly enough, I think I'm like actually 29 drawings into scene 30. I've got my 30th page sitting on my board right now that I'll be working on here in a few minutes. So that's 30 right there. And then this is what 30 pieces of paper look like. These are blank. I have not used these yet. The significance of these 30, why do I have 30 sequestered in my hands? Well, these are the last 30 pieces of paper that I have, which means it's time for me to order more supplies. I will probably order another 1,000 sheets. I ordered the 1,000 I'm finishing up right now. I ordered back in April, I believe. So 1,000 sheets roughly went from April through December. But I'll probably go through that 30 in the next few days or very, very close to that. So that's pretty good. That's like, what, 9 months? Yeah, that's 9 months worth. 9 months equaled 1,000 drawings for me. So that's pretty cool. It gives me a number to shoot for, I guess, if I want to try to beat that number in the new year. I've never drawn this much animation in a single year, I think, ever in my entire life. So 2024 was definitely about setting some records and breaking out. Sorry, I'm getting my music at the right mix here. Getting myself at a pace that I was keeping up pretty well for a while. And then, of course, as the holidays came in, it sort of threw me off a little bit. But the scene I'm working on right now is the 20th scene of 2024. It's scene 30 overall, but it's the 20th scene that I worked on this year. I don't know if I'll get it done in the next 4 days. I'm not going to get it done in the next 4 days. I can tell you that right now. That's okay. This scene kind of ballooned more than I thought it would. According to my storyboards, which are 6 panels, this scene, the way I had it planned on there, it takes up 3 of the 6, but there's another panel up there that I have eliminated and incorporated into this scene. So really, 4 of the 6 panels are all scene 30. So scene 30 got kind of big. And that's okay. That happens sometimes. So this is a pretty important scene. This scene has my main character walking. He's walking through the darkness of the warehouse. He's not sure what he's going to encounter. He's very nervous. I just was thinking recently about maybe having him whistle a little bit, which is going to be interesting if I decide to do that. Sort of an homage to some other animated things that I really enjoy. But I think it'll be fun. So I keep finding ways to lengthen this scene. Right now it's taking up about 4 seconds on my timeline, but I know it's going to be longer than that because as I'm watching it, I'm going, yeah, this needs to keep going. So tonight I'll be doing some in-betweening on scene 30, and the idea behind these in-betweens is just to slow everything down, to just make the scene kind of give itself time to breathe and to feel like it has a chance to, take up space in a good way. So, the kinds of drawings I'm working on tonight, I'm going to show you some of these. So these are the kind of drawings I'm working on. He's looking very concerned. This is sort of like an upshot. It's a bit of an upshot on a new guy. You can kind of see his hands moving a little bit there. A little bit of his eyes and eyebrows moving a little bit there. So that's what I'll be working on tonight, is just doing some in-betweening on scene 30. Hey, happy live stream night to you, Samantha. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being one of my channel members. And if you're interested in being a channel member as well, people at home, just go to my YouTube channel, and there's a place right below this video, I think maybe over here somewhere, where you can be a channel member for 99 cents. I just to kind of go off on a mild tangent, I try to put as much time and energy into this project as I can between having a day job and then giving myself time to just like breathe. Earlier this year, I feel like I wasn't really doing much of the relaxing thing. I was either going to work or I was drawing, and that was it. I was really kind of, going. And I think eventually it caught up with me. So this part of the year, I slowed down a little bit on the cartoon, but I ended up increasing my work hours for my day job. And I don't love that I'm doing that, but it's one of those things where you got things you want to be able to spend money on and bills to pay and all that stuff. All of that to say, I don't make a living creating. I do have somewhat of an income that comes from it, but I'm not making a living at it. Eventually, that would be really great. And if you feel like supporting me and in that endeavor, being a channel member is a great way to do that. You can also join me on Patreon. I really appreciate it. If you don't do it, it's totally fine. I will keep putting out these live stream videos for free. It's something that I enjoy. I kind of do it for me because it's just a good way for me to sort of do some audio processing of hearing myself planning things. But I also really enjoy engaging with you guys. And that's selfishly something that I enjoy as well. So all of that to say, any support is appreciated, even free support. So if you feel like supporting me for free, you can also follow me on Patreon for free, and you can click like on this video, and you can subscribe on YouTube. All those things are free ways to help the channel. Eventually, maybe I'll be doing this full time. That would be amazing. I would love it, and that would allow me really more time to think of some different videos and things I could do. But as of right now, this is about as stretched as I'm willing to be. So anyway, I appreciate your patience with all that and hearing me out. And now back to our regularly scheduled live draw. Just a little water tonight. No sparkling water, just a little plain water. I'm actually going to get started because I really do want to get some of these in-betweens knocked out tonight. So thanks for joining me. I'm going to get this going here. tonight's going to be probably a little bit of a light board night since I'm in betweening. So hopefully that doesn't completely ruin what the camera is seeing. Well, it's not really making it easy to see, is it? Oh, you can kind of see that. That's kind of neat. Huh. Look at that. That's cool. All right. Well, I'm going to be here. And if you have any questions, as always, or comments, I'll keep checking the comments and seeing what's being said. I'll probably get a little bit of a slap on the wrist for the copyright on this music, but I don't really care tonight. I just want to listen to some music and draw. So. Musical selection for tonight is an album called Chill Riviera. I've played it before on this channel, and I really enjoy it. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's like you're in a chill Riviera. So sometimes this is exactly what I need. I don't have to think too much about lyrics or whatever. Anybody out there making any New Year's resolutions? I know that's like totally trite, but somebody's doing it, right? Someone's making resolutions. Is there anything you did this year that you're really glad that you did, instead of trying to think of things that you didn't do? Is there anything that you did that you're like, you know what? More of that. I like that. I like the idea of focusing on the things you did that you want to see happening more. What would we call that? It wouldn't be a resolution. Maybe it would be like keepers. Previous year keepers. Anybody got any previous year keepers that you want to keep? I would say for me, it's pretty consistent with animating this year. I'd like to make sure I continue that. I kind of feel like I lost a little bit of my momentum for a while, but if I could get that back, that would be great, and then keep that going. That would be amazing. Got some comments here. Just the general ones, which I probably won't keep. What are the general ones? What are general resolutions? You mean like losing weight? That's a really boring one. Who cares about that? What a funny society we live in where we're like, oh my gosh, the holidays are all about food. Let's talk about food. And then we're just like, oh, why do I weigh so much? What a silly thing. It's like the entire system is about setting yourself up to fail. Isn't that weird? Why do we do that? It's very weird. So this section has kind of turned into a little bit of tracing over my drawings as a way to lengthen out the period that the scene is going on. Instead of just making the drawing last on screen longer, I'm just doing more in-betweens that are very, very close to each other. It's creating a pretty neat effect that I don't have in, I don't think, really much of it else of the scenes. Eat better, exercise more, go to bed on time, spend less money. Ugh. I don't like any of that. If I smoked or drank, it would be to quit those things, but I don't. Well, since you can't quit smoking or drinking, is there anything that you do want to quit? Or is there anything that you want to start? Maybe there's something that you are like, I really never really tried doing this. I don't mean substance abuse. I mean something else, something a little bit more productive than that. Maybe this is the year to take up horseback riding. Go with that. This has been doing these hands has been very, very tricky. Horseback riding is fun, but I need a horse to do it for any enjoyable amount of time. What would you need to do it if it wasn't enjoyable? I like the way you worded that, but now I have questions. Hey, thanks for the thumbs up from Consuelo Herrera over on Facebook. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for being here. I just mean if you go somewhere with horses, you only get to ride for a little bit. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. My brain took that somewhere else. I was like, are you riding a pretend horse? Or perhaps a dead horse? I don't know what was going on there. No pretend and or dead horses here. Thank you for clarifying that. That's good. That's good. We don't want that. Oh, you know what? I probably need to fix that. I do need to fix that. Well, sometimes it's difficult to keep track of every little line and where it goes from one drawing to the next, as I'm just now discovering with the shirt line right here, like this up and down line on a shirt. And so I need to go back and add it into this other drawing. There we go. It's not a major deal, but, you know, it's a thing. I believe this is the track that I first heard that sold me on this album, if I'm not mistaken. Coastline? Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah. I just love it. This is just such a good song. Anybody got any plans for New Year's? Let me know in the comments what you think you'll be going and doing. I always, not to sound like an old fuddy-duddy, but I always get nervous about plans on New Year's because I just had it like taught into me at a very young age that everybody's out drinking, and so I don't want to drive home on New Year's. I always get very nervous about that, which, yeah, maybe that's a little silly, but you know, I can't control everybody else and how they're driving. Okay, I need to stop being precious about this drawing and move on because, yeah. Hey, thanks for the heart on Facebook. Mark Lemieux. Oh, Mark's here. That's nice. Hi, Mark. So it's not going to look incredibly different than the other drawings behind it, but I promise you it is different, and it will move things forward in a very smooth way. So now I'm starting my final 30. I have 30 pieces of paper remaining before I have to order more. I'll probably order more like this weekend, but I'm down to my last 30. I was kind of trying to see if I would do I really need it in the next 4 days, because 4 or 5 days. I might wait. I might wait till next week to order, and that way the purchase is part of the next year. That might be what I do. Does it matter? Not really, but it's just like, I don't know. Starting a new year, ordering new paper. I like kind of keeping it all together. So I'll probably order 1,000 sheets again. You know, it took me 9 months to get through 1,000 sheets. There's not really a reason for me to order more than 1,000 right now. This particular scene might be the most frames in one scene, maybe. I'm going to be really cramming a bunch of drawings in this scene because I want to go for a little bit of a different feel. I want this scene to really feel very, very fluid. Because it's heightened tensions. There's heightened nervousness in this scene. And I feel like if there's more of a constant state of motion, it's going to maybe increase the anxiety. This scene is probably going to be the most anxiety-ridden scene. Maybe. I mean, I'm just saying that's my impression of like what I want to go for. And when I look at the storyboards, I think this is kind of the height of where the anxiety is reaching a fever pitch. And then very soon after this scene, it's the tension kind of breaks very quickly. For some comedy reasons, that's really, in my opinion, the best way to break tension. You know, there's still going to be some anxiety in the rest of the scene, but I would say in the rest of the warehouse. But I will venture to say the rest of the warehouse is probably pretty comedic. It'll be a little bit more on the dramatic for comedy purposes and less on the dramatic for anxiety purposes. But this scene is like tensions are building quite a bit. So I might be on this scene for 2 or 3 more weeks, possibly, as I do all of these drawings and try to make it feel very, very smooth and fluid motion. That's the plan. Oh, thanks, Thanks to Frank Gonzalez for the like on Facebook. And if you're liking my video on YouTube, thank you as well. I just can't see it in real time, so I do acknowledge and appreciate that. All right, so those two drawings are new. Oh, hey, Frank. I like the jazz music last Friday. But yeah, I know. Yeah, just some chill jazz tonight. Just wanted to kind of, it's a little bit like Muzak, but I really can kind of zone out to this stuff and focus on what I'm drawing, which is important. So I got a couple of in-betweens done. I know there was a drawing that I wanted to do some tracing over. Where was that? Oh yeah, I think it was it was number 9. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna grab number 9. Do a little tracing over number 9. And then I'll have some stuff to scan. That'll be nice. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks for being here. I'm now counting down. I know it's like my own New Year's countdown. I should be counting down the pages until I'm out of paper. It's less than 30 now. It's officially less than 30. Depending on how things go tomorrow, I may or may not have time to knock a few more out. I forgot to finish his face. See, this is what happens. I miss 1 or 2 lines. I didn't mean to do that. So let me do that real quick. I gotta fix that. This is what happens. And then later I go, how did I not draw that? And one of the things I've come to learn over the years, I'll watch old cartoons and I'll notice like bits of a character just seem to vanish. And it's like, how did that happen? How did they not keep that? I know how it happened. Because there's a million friggin' lines. And it's just sometimes you don't keep track of all of them. That's all it is. Thankfully, I'm a bit of a stickler for like looking for that stuff. But I can totally understand how they missed a few lines back in the day. Totally get it. Totally get it. So this is scene 30, and I've got over 30 drawings into scene 30 right now. I don't know how long scene 30 is going to last, but I'm in the process of like finding ways to insert more stuff into the scene. So what I'm going to have him do is, right now he's just kind of walking from side to side, looking kind of apprehensive and kind of messing with his hands a little bit. And eventually in this scene, he's going to say hello. He's going to say hello out into the void. And then originally in the storyboards, the plan was to have a voice of another character come back and say something back. And that is still the plan, but I've decided I don't want it to happen immediately. What I'm going to do instead, it's going to lengthen the scene a little bit, is I'm going to have, after he says hello, I'm going to have him whistle a little bit out of nervousness. And then after he whistles a little bit, then I'll have the other voice come in, which kind of makes more sense if you think about it, because, you know, maybe the other character was doing something else. They weren't immediately available. So I kind of like the idea of that, and it builds up a little bit more tension because now he's whistling, and it allows the scene to have a little bit more time to be happening. So I don't know how long the scene's going to be, but I definitely want it to be longer than the 4 seconds it currently is. I know that much. There's probably going to be a decent number of additional drawings in this scene. I will know more next week, or I should say next year. I was thinking about this project and, you know, how far I got in 9 months this year. And I was just like, wow, what can I do next year? How many scenes can I get done next year? And I really think I had the most complicated scenes this year. I think the rest of the cartoon, I don't feel like there's as much complicated. Now, I say that, but I was just saying that a few weeks ago or a couple months ago regarding some of the scenes I did this summer. And now here I am on scene 30, and I'm saying, oh, I want to pad scene 30 out. So that's what makes this difficult. It's hard for me to predict exactly how long any of it's going to take, because every time I approach a new scene, one of the things I try to do is like ask myself, well, how can I make this more fun? How can I make it more interesting? You know, I don't want it to only be get from A to B in the story. I mean, I could do that, but I don't think that's as interesting. And then, you know, I want to make something that when you watch it, you just want to keep looking at it. And unfortunately, a lot of modern animation plays very much like a radio play, where you could kind of look away from the screen and just sort of listen to the voice actors, and you'd be pretty much able to figure everything out. I don't know how much they take advantage of the medium of animation. That's my only real quibble about it. And I'm talking about television animation. I'm not talking about like theatrical releases. But television animation has just gotten very cheap looking. I guess it's always been sort of cheap looking, or not, maybe not always, but I think the default has been that it's cheaper. You know, I'm not trying to necessarily get this to be a TV show. Right now, honestly, I'm just doing the best I can with this first cartoon. Do I have other ideas? I do. Yes, I do have other ideas, but I don't know how all that's going to work. How much like production is going to go into things. This is in many ways, even though this series has gone on for over 15 years, this is kind of the first step. It's funny how you can have a first step on something that's had a lot of other steps, but this is the first step, really, in this new form. So we'll see what happens after this. Okay, so this was my trace drawing. It's going to look a lot cleaner than the drawing it came off of. This is the one where I was kind of figuring it all out. It's a little fuzzier. And anyway. So I did that because I'm trying to increase the length of the scene. And this is one of the ways that I've sort of deduced on how to do that. Yeah. Let's see how many more. Oh, we've still got like 15 minutes. I don't think I have these in order. If I wanted to do a flip book, I might be able to do a flip book. Let's see. I don't know if this is going to actually do anything, because I don't know if they're even in the right order, but... Oh, that's... Well, kind of worked a little bit. That's kind of cool. Yeah, they're not exactly in 100% order, but that sort of worked. Yeah, so this is what? I've already done over 30 drawings, so this is over 30 drawings done. I've got about this much left of paper before I'm going to be in a bit of trouble. So I'll probably order paper in the next few days. I think I could probably stretch out the rest of this paper up until January 1st, and I'll just wait till January 1st and I'll order it then. Yeah, I could do one more of these. I'll do one more of these before I close up tonight. So, and then the other thing that I got to be doing on this scene is the background. The background's actually going to be a scrolling background. It's going to scroll diagonally. So, like, if there's an object here, it's going to sort of move. Not like, I don't mean like diagonal, like down there. I just mean if the top of the drawing starts here, then when it comes all the way over, it's going to maybe end like there, right? So there's a very slight diagonal happening. So he's walking. You won't be able to see his bottom half, but he's just kind of walking, and this background is going to be sort of panning like that, right? So I haven't started drawing that yet. But that drawing, that background, is probably going to be several pieces of paper long. So I'll have to keep, like, I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. I'm just going to have to make several drawings, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting. And then I'll have to figure out what the speed is that background will be moving. And that'll be its own little project. I'll have to sort of do a little test animation of just the background. And if the background feels like it's moving at a good pace, then what happens is I basically marry the background image to the character image. And I go in here and I remove all this background white space so that the background can peek through. And then I just merge those together. It becomes one image. And it should look like he's sort of, walking. So that's going to be the trick, if I can get him to look like he's walking. He's not moving. I don't want to do like a dramatic like bobbing like this, because he's just sort of like making his way through a space. And if you're doing that, you're not really doing a whole lot of bobbing. There's a little bit of it. It's tricky. I've noticed there's like some subtleties that if you're not careful with it, you can look like you're overacting. And a lot of times in a cartoon, you want to overact. But I feel like the world of Retail Sunshine walks this boundary between absolute, clown-like acting and then some really interesting subtleties. Sort of plays between those things. So as I'm sitting here and I'm like, how would I do this? There's times when I go back and think about like Looney Tunes and Disney films, but sometimes I'll go, if it was Looney Tunes, they would have made everything really big, and sometimes with Disney films as well. And so I'm not always making things very big, not always. So that's just been my own style, and figuring out a style has been very interesting, like a style of motion. It's like you would think I kind of already had it in my head of what my motions would be based on the comic strips, but doing this project has really helped me to explore how I look at movement and what is appropriate levels of movement. Anyway. All right, let me do one more tracing drawing, and then I'm going to call it a night, I think. I'm going to call it a year at that point. So if there's anything you want to ask me that's still this year, now's your chance. Or I guess if you're watching this later on, you can ask me in the comments, and I'll get back to it later. Or just hang out and enjoy the music and hang out with me while I'm drawing. Thanks for being here, by the way. I just kind of want to take a moment to say thank you. I can definitely listen to my own thoughts, and that's fine. But it really is nice to have people hanging out with me virtually. It's very nice. Sometimes I feel like I'm teaching a class, and that's a really cool feeling. Sometimes I feel like I'm just kind of shooting the breeze with you guys, and that's cool too. I appreciate any and all of the support. If you guys believe in what I'm doing and all that good stuff, I really do appreciate it. I don't think I ever saw this coming. I don't think I ever knew I was going to be making a cartoon of this scale and scope. And it's pretty awesome to be doing it. Sometimes I get overwhelmed with how big this project is. It really is a giant project. But I recently finished page 12 of the storyboards. And there's 24 pages of storyboards. So that's like halfway through my boards. Doesn't mean it's halfway through the cartoon necessarily, but it is halfway through the boards. So I really feel like there's actual movement happening on this cartoon. The fact that I can go back and play it and watch it for a couple minutes is kind of awesome. I wanted to make sure I got to the warehouse before the end of the year, and that's exactly where my character is right now. He's in the warehouse. So I feel like I set a goal and I reached it, which is really nice. You know, supposedly there's another 70 scenes to go. And this is scene 30. So, you know, the question then is, can I do another 40 scenes next year? Can I complete the pencil animation next year? I don't know. Maybe. Honestly, it's possible because a lot of the scenes coming up are pretty short. So maybe I'll be able to do that. Maybe I'll make my goal for 2025 to complete all of the pencil animation. That's a pretty lofty goal. Can't believe the next live stream will be in 2025. I know, it's crazy, right? How many have you already scanned? Are you I think you mean to put the letter N in there. I'm not scamming anything. But I am scanning. I checked earlier, and I'm... it's hard to say how many I've scanned because some images are combinations of two different pieces of paper or multiple pieces of paper. So I don't really know how many I've scanned, but I can tell you that there are... How many have you already scanned? Thanks. So I don't know how many I've scanned, but I can tell you that there are currently over 1,500 images. Again, sometimes an image is just one drawing. Sometimes an image is like 2 or 3 or 4 drawings smushed together onto one image. So I can at least tell you there's over 1,500 images. It's probably more drawings than that, if that answers your question. I have not sat down and counted every piece of paper. Maybe I'll do that at some point, but that sounds like a really annoying thing to do. But as far as images are concerned, it's like 1530 or something like that. It's a really, really good amount. It's fun to think that, like, when this cartoon is done, I'll be able to say to whoever watched it, hey, you just watched X number of thousands of drawings. You may not have realized it, but you just saw, 3,000 drawings. That's what you just watched. It's pretty cool to think about it that way. And then, this week I'll be working on it, so I don't even know how far I'll be by this time next Friday. I don't even know. I don't know how far into this scene I'll be. Will I be done? I don't know. I don't think I will be. I don't foresee that happening. There we go. That might be the last drawing of the night. Now, not necessarily the last drawing of 2024, because I'll be working on this over the next few days, but might be the last drawing of a live stream of 2024. That's very possible. Image number 030_009_2. Rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? Yeah, all right. So I got a few in-betweens done tonight. It's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out. And let's see. Say that 5 times fast. That. Hey, if you haven't already, I'd like to plug my my book one more time this year. Everything Must Go came out earlier this year. It's kind of a significant book for me. Not kind of. It is significant. It's everything from Retail Sunshine that was in print and some stuff that hasn't been in the course of the first 15 years of the series. And I was telling somebody else earlier today, the reason why that book is so important is because this cartoon is going to change how I handle Retail Sunshine going forward. Like, I don't plan on inking these drawings in. I don't know how I'm going to complete them. It'll probably be a little bit more on the digital side of things to keep me from going insane. So Everything Must Go, which is the name of the book, it's the end of an era, and this cartoon is the beginning of a new one. And I am planning on putting out a making of book when I release this cartoon and bring it into film festivals. I plan on having a companion book to go with it for anybody interested. Maybe it'll be a Kickstarter. But in the meantime, if you go to bookpeople.com and you type in my name, or you type in Retail Sunshine or Everything Must Go, any of those things, it should pull up the book right away. And I really want to foster that relationship with Book People and have my book continue to be carried by them. It's very convenient for me because they handle all the shipping. I don't have to do any of it. So if you want to support me and this channel and what I do, and also get a great book for yourself or for a gift, I would highly encourage you picking up Retail Sunshine, Everything Must Go. And you can do it again from bookpeople.com. So I really appreciate it. It's a huge labor of love for me. It's that book encapsulates what this series is. It encapsulates the creation of the series and how it's evolved over 15 years. And now this cartoon is like the next beginning of the whatever is left to come, which is really exciting. Yeah. So anyway, I hope you'll check it out. I see what you did there. Yeah, I did that 5 times fast. I love that joke. Thank you so much, guys, for being here this year. Thanks for hanging out with me. Those of you, excuse me, let me get some water. Excuse me. Really, I just gotta say thank you so much. It's been an incredible year. 9 full months of animation, which has been great. A brand new book, which has been just awesome. Let me grab the book just to have it on screen with me. While I'm saying all these things, let me just do that real quick. So this is the book. Came out this year. I'm super proud of it. I love it, and I really hope you do too. It's chock full of papery goodness, lots of comics, lots of behind the scenes information. Yeah. Anyway, so this has been a pretty great year, I would say, for me as far as creativity is concerned. You know, my goals for next year, I was just saying earlier, I'd love to finish all the pencil animation for this cartoon by this time next year. Maybe I can make that happen. I would also really love to get to a point where I can be doing this completely full time. Maybe that can happen. It's possible. We'll see. Any support that I get from you guys goes towards that. So thank you for anything that you guys do. And Happy New Year to you, Frank. If you guys are watching this after the fact, please feel free to say Happy New Year in the comments, and I'll give you a little virtual high five. Thanks. Excuse me. Thank you for the heart, Carrie Fisher over on Facebook. Thanks to all my patrons. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate. Just some of you guys have been with me for years now, and I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. I can't put it into words properly. I feel like a dork trying to verbalize these things. What else happened this year? Oh, the brain pin came out this year. Yeah, the brain pin, the glow in the dark brain pin. That was pretty awesome. I'll be doing, I hope anyway, I got to sign up for it, but the Staple Convention here in Austin, which happens in April, sign up starts in January. So I'm hoping to get into that show. It's my favorite convention to do. It's really the one you can pretty much always expect to see me at. And I hope 2025 will be no exception to that. Hey, Carrie, good to see you too. Thank you very much for the kind words. I appreciate you. Yeah. I currently have, let me see how many minutes of animation exist on this cartoon as of right now. That's a pretty fun thing to look at. Let me just take a look at that real quick. Let's see. So if I remove 20 seconds, let's see here, from this. So that says 3:07, but if I take 20 from that, that makes it what? 2 minutes and 47 seconds. So I've got 2 minutes and 47 seconds worth of animation right now. Now, it says 3 minutes and 7 seconds. That's because the intro is 20 seconds long. So, and that'll count, but I'm just saying, just animation-wise, 2 minutes and 47 seconds, which is kind of cool, actually, because the Best Buy store I worked in, where I got my start, every store has a store number, and our store number was 247, and I'm at 247 at the end of this year. That's kind of awesome. I mean, that's if you're not including the current scene I'm working on, okay? So if you're including the current scene, then it's, I don't even know where it is right now. I've got maybe another 4 seconds. So that's what, 251? Okay, that's cool. So I think in the new year, it'll be interesting to see how many minutes more of animation I can tag on there. I've been saying all along that I expect this cartoon to be about 6.5 minutes long. We'll see. I don't know if it'll be that long. I don't know if it'll be longer than that. It's kind of depends. Every scene, I don't have like a goal of scene length. I just try to do the scene how long I feel like it is necessary to tell the story, to be funny, to be entertaining to look at. So we'll see what happens. I'm pretty excited to see how much more I can do next year. And oh yeah, store 247, good times indeed. Yeah, Carrie worked with me at that exact location, actually. Funny enough. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to. Now I kind of don't want to like end the live stream because I feel like now we're having this end of year fest. Gosh, how many days are we away from it? To 4 more days in the year. How interesting. Is it meant to be a movie, a show, a series? I'm allowing that to be determined later. I get overwhelmed sometimes when I think about those kinds of questions because those kinds of questions imply some sort of action be taken. And I'm not done with this cartoon, so I feel like I don't have any business taking any action yet. Now, when I get to a point where I'm done with all the pencil animation and I'm doing cleanup and I'm, whatever, and I'm in that mode, maybe I'll start thinking about those kinds of things more. I don't know. I don't know if I want it to be well, it's not meant to be a movie. Let's put it this way. It's a 6.5-minute cartoon. So one of the ideas I toyed with was, in order to give myself a better production timeline, making a bunch of 1-minute cartoons and finding a way to do like these little like shorts, which there would still be a lot of work involved, but a 1-minute cartoon is definitely different than a 6.5-minute cartoon. And so I've been kicking that idea around because then I could like release them more regularly. But I already have a follow-up cartoon like in my head. I've already written out a little bit of the plot line. I know the title of it. Like, I already have it. So my other plan right now, if somebody asks me what's next, my other plan is to say, I have another 6.5-minute cartoon in pre-production. So, and that's true. It's not, I'm not making that up. There really is another one in pre-production, but I'm not spending a lot of time working on pre-production because I'm making this cartoon. But there is another one. So the question will be at the end of this cartoon, do I jump into that one? Do I jump into another process of making another 6.5-minute cartoon? Or do I simply think of some shorter things and do those instead? I don't know. It's going to depend a lot. And I want to spend maybe a year getting this thing out and being seen at festivals, possibly having in-person ticketed events where people can come into town and they can watch the cartoon, and we'll do like a live Q&A, and maybe I'll show Sparking Sunshine along with it. So I've got things in mind. I just got to figure out what the best way to handle all that will be. And I'm really not going to know that until this cartoon gets closer to being complete. But good question. I like the question. I try not to get too ahead of myself. I do like to think in the future tense, and sort of give myself a bit of a runway of like, okay, if I want to do this kind of a thing, I need to start thinking about it right now so I can prepare. But the problem with doing too much of that is then you're sort of pigeonholing yourself into things that you may not want to do a year from now. So we'll see what happens. I suspect 2025 should be very, very interesting for this cartoon because I'm going to try to get it done. Just the pencil animation, not the whole cartoon, just the pencil test. I'm going to try to have that done by the end of next year. Fingers crossed. So next year should be interesting. It will mean that this cartoon has been in production like years, and I don't even know if that's what makes me nervous. Is by the end of this, I'll have a pretty good idea of how long it took me to make it. Granted, it wasn't full time, and that's part of the problem. If it was full time, yeah, maybe I would have been done by now. So that's going to be another thing I have to ask myself. These are all these questions I don't know. And maybe putting this cartoon out there will, make it possible for me to do another one full time. Maybe I'll get some sort of animation grant, or maybe I'll have a bunch more people who want to become patrons, and then I'll be going full time. I don't know. We'll see. It could be anything. That's the thing about the future. We just don't know. So, but I do have another cartoon in mind specifically, and I have a gist of the story. So once this thing is getting closer to being done, I'll start working on that in the background in secret. All right. I think I've dragged on long enough. But have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Have a wonderful rest of 2024. I will see you all in the new year. I'm very excited for it. I hope you're excited for it. I hope we all enter 2025 with possibilities and hope. Hoping for possibilities. Yeah, all of that. So I think anything is possible if we allow ourselves to believe that it is, and if we can visualize what success for us looks like. I think that's really the first step in getting there, is visualizing it, asking yourself what your ultimate objective is. And like for me, whenever I work on a scene, like I know I could be done with a scene way sooner than it is, but if I'm looking at it and it doesn't make me happy, and it doesn't make me laugh or smile or whatever, or if I don't feel compelled by it, then I have to keep going with it. So that's how I judge the next steps to take. But for you, it could be different. You know, if you're somebody who's like I don't know, a painter and or something, and maybe you're like, okay, I have to paint this many paintings, and this is how I make rent, and so maybe it's very different for you. Maybe you're making art as a way to pay your bills, in which case you're probably finishing things a lot faster than I am, you know. Or maybe you're like, I just want to keep something as a hobby. I don't want to turn it into anything with too much pressure around it. You know, maybe you like to crochet and you just like to make little gifts for friends and family or something like that. Or you like to go to farmers markets and sell things just to see if it'll sell, but you're not trying to make a career out of it. That's fine. But for you, it could be a different path entirely. So just my point is, you are the person who defines your own levels of what success means. It doesn't have to mean sales. It doesn't have to mean likes. It doesn't have to mean any of those things. So don't let the world tell you how to define success. Make 2025 be the year that you define what success is for you. And then once you decided what it means, then go after it with all of your being. That's the best thing I think anybody can do. Just cling to that, because the world will try to tell you what success is and isn't. So anyway, that's enough of my own unsolicited advice. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys. I can't wait to see you in the new year and get you updated on how things have been going. If you have any questions or comments anytime, you know how to reach me. I'm available on social media. Try in the comments of this video for starters. That's a good place to start. See you guys next year. Thank you.